upon my destiny, upon my purpose in this earth. Shake yourself.
We've been quickened together with Him, raised up together with Him, seated together in Him in heavenly places.
But I got news for you. Anything that Jesus says in this book, it's not false.
Some more of these guys, and they're going to be coming on the scene. We're going to see revivals. We're going to see things change.
Now, why can you be strong in the Lord? Because He's delegated authority to you. It's in Him. It's in Him.
The church needs to carry out the Great Commission of Christ. You better read it.
Okay, so today, this is Missionary Prize once again. My name is Pierre Gousset. This is under Operation Outreach today. Friday, March 22. We're doing a live stream on Facebook, and of course we're making a video out of this for YouTube. So today we are in Courtice. Show them Courtice. Courtice! Courtice! So there's Highway 2 is behind us, so that's why it's a little noisy. So that's why we're gonna try to, anyhow, this is good. Sometimes there's no traffic. So Courtice, population 35,000 in 2016. It's a community in Ontario. It's not a town. It's not well, it's probably about a town. It's certainly not a city. In Ontario, Canada, about 37 miles east from Toronto. Toronto's that way, and we're right next door to Oshawa, where we live. Toronto, we did a recording already. And we are west of Bowmanville, which we'll be doing a teaching over there and maybe next week. So in the municipality of Clarington. So the history of Courtice is this area was first settled in 1794, believe it or not, by the Burke and Trolls family, which immigrated from England. A lot of England around here. In this whole area, a lot of England. I want to do a teaching on that because of the Methodist Church. The community back then was centered on the Ebenezer Church. Did you know that years ago communities were centered around the church, a local church? Yeah, we've gotten away from that. And the schoolhouse, church and schoolhouse, see how the two work together, which was erected in the 1850s. And just west of the post office over here was the old Methodist Church. Methodism was everywhere around here years ago. Anyhow, I got to do a teaching on that in the next couple of years. And all these buildings were torn down when they expanded the Highway 2 in 1988. So the key topic today is going to be a good one, a really good one. It's going to be on good and evil. Good and evil, what the word has to say about good and evil. So my pre-introduction is, number 8, is this whole theme called good and evil, or good versus evil, has been around even before the fall of man, believe it or not. Starting off back in the Garden of Eden, regarding the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Genesis 2:9, and God did not put the tree there to tempt Adam. He put the tree there to give Adam a choice. Okay, because we have a choice, because we're free moral agents. B, and then we have our first example of good and evil between mankind, the serpent, Genesis 3. And then we have our second example between Cain and Abel, Genesis 4. As the old saying goes, the rest is history, meaning things have not changed, nor will they change until the Lord returns. Just read 2 Timothy chapter 3. All right, and then E, we are not only surrounded by good and evil, but we're surrounded by people that are calling good evil and evil good. This is everywhere in the world. Yeah, it's sad, really sad. F, the only thing necessary for triumph. I love this quote by Edmund Burke back in the 1800s. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men or good women to do nothing. That's the problem in the church. So much for God's sovereignty, eh? No, God leaves it up to us. Okay? And G, good, God versus evil. Good versus evil. Do you ever notice that we got the word God and the word good? And we've got the word evil and the word devil. Did you ever see that before? Probably not. Okay, and I added this one. H is good versus evil began actually at Lucifer's fall. in the back in the heaven. That's where good and evil began, right? When Lucifer rebelled against God, where he said, I will ascend. I. Yeah, I. Yeah. And what did God do? Boom! Put him out. Yeah. So, main introduction. In this teaching video, we'll not be looking at references concerning the word good or the word evil, but what we're going to be looking at is where the word good and the word evil are used simultaneously. Okay? So it's going to be very interesting. So pay attention. Get your Bibles out. You know when I'm on the air, you need to have your Bibles. So, key references here is the first one is Matthew 5, verse 39. But I say to you, do not resist the evil man who injures you, but if anyone strikes you on the right jaw or cheek, turn to him the other one and do good. Wow, imagine that. Somebody hit you on one side, you give them the other side to hit you with. I don't think that's what really Jesus meant though. Anyhow, verse 45. To show that you are the children of your Father who is in heaven, for he makes his sun rise on the wicked, the evil, and on the good, and makes the rain fall upon the upright, the good, and the wrongdoers, the evil alike. Yeah, that's the mercy of God. Matthew 7, verse 18. A good, healthy tree cannot bear bad, worthless fruit, nor can a bad, diseased tree bear excellent fruit worthy of admiration. That's the Amplified, right? I use the Amplified most cases. Matthew 12, verse 35. The good man from his inner good treasure flings outwardly forth good things, and the evil man out of his inner evil storehouse flings outwardly forth evil things. Comment. It all begins with what is already inside of your heart. If you expect good things to come out of you while you've got bad things growing on the inside of you, you know what? I got one word for you. You're a stupid fool. Okay? You can only have good things coming out of you if you've got good things on the inside of you. When you see bad things happening in the world, it's because they got bad things inside of them. Okay? So back to Matthew 7, verse 18 regarding the tree. A good tree produces good fruit. A bad tree produces bad fruit. Okay? It's a no-brainer. It's common sense. You don't have to be born again to know this, all right? Matthew 13. Matthew 13, 38. The field is the world, and the good seeds mean the children of the kingdom. We're good seed. We are the good seed, those who are born of God. The darnel is the children of the evil one. Wow, there's two families on this earth. There's the family of God and the family of the God of this world. All right? That's why there's heaven and hell. Mark 3:4. And Jesus said to them, they said to Jesus, is it lawful and right on the Sabbath? Oh no, Jesus said to them, is it lawful and right on the Sabbath to do good or to do evil? You know, it's up to you to do good or to do evil. But if you can only do evil, then get born again. That's why Jesus said a man must be born again. We're so evil because of the fall, we got to get born all over again. That's what the whole new birth is all about. And even once you are born again, you got to renew your mind. Because we got a lot of people walking in the old man and not the new man. Luke 6. Luke 6:45. The upright, honorable, intrinsically good man out of the good treasure stored in his heart produces what is upright, honorable, intrinsically good. And the evil man out of the evil storehouse brings forth that which is depraved, wicked, intrinsically evil, for out of the abundance overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. There we go. That's what he's saying. Comment back to what I've already said in Matthew 12:35. You can't produce good fruit if you've got bad stuff growing on the inside of you. Okay? Let's just break it down to what it is for the layman's term. Okay? John 3, verse 19 and then 20. 19. The basis of the judgment, indictment, the test by which men are judged, the ground for the sentence lies in this. The light, the good, has come into the world. Jesus is the light of the world, and people have loved darkness or evil rather than and more than like good, for their works are evil. You know, evil people don't like good. They don't like it. We're going to look at this. Good people should not like evil. They contrast. They're antagonistic towards one another. All right? Verse 20. For every wrongdoer, evildoer, hates, loathes, detests the light. See? Good. and will not come out into the light good, but shrinks from it, stays away from it. Why? Because he doesn't want his works, his deeds, his activities, his conduct to be exposed and reproved. Yeah, when I used to do bad stuff before I got saved, I stayed away from the police. We're going to look at this. I stayed away from people that were good. When I did drugs before I got saved, yes, I did drugs. I didn't hang around with people that didn't do drugs. I hung around with people that did drugs. I hung around the people that like to drink. Yeah, I didn't hang around people, we call them, what do we call them back there? Squares. You know, you're too square for me. You're too straight for me, you know? No. I hung around with the evil people, okay? John 5:29. And they shall come out, those who have practiced doing good will come out to the resurrection of a new life, and those who have done evil will be raised for judgment, raised to meet their sentence. Acts 10:38, I love Acts 10:38. How God anointed and consecrated Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and with strength and ability and power, how he, Jesus, went about doing good, and in particular, curing all who were harassed and oppressed by who? By the devil, the evil one, by evil, for God was with him. Okay, powerful. I love this verse. It belongs to the church, and I think the church ripped this verse out of the Bible. Well, not all of it, but some of them. Romans 3:12. All have turned aside. Together they have gone wrong, or they've gone evil, and have become unprofitable and worthless. No one does right, good, not even one. Now here he's referring to, this has to do with the fall of mankind back in the garden. Okay, ever since then, I don't care how good you think your works are. Isaiah said, is your works, your good works, is as filthy rags. Yeah, you know what the filthy rags are too, right? Yeah, I won't get into that. Romans 12, verse 9. Let your love be sincere, a real thing. Hate what is evil. Loathe all ungodliness. Turn and abhor from wickedness, but hold fast to which is good. Right? As believers. 21. Do not let yourself be overcome by evil, but overcome, master evil with good. So when you see evil, do good. When you see evil, don't good. Don't join evil. Do good. Do good. Romans 13, verse 3. For civil authorities are not a terror to people of good conduct. That's a no-brainer too. But to those of bad evil behavior. Would you have no dread of him who is in authority? Then do what is right, do what is good, and you will receive his approval, commendation. Verse 4. For he is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, you should dread him and be afraid, for he does not bear and wear the sword for nothing. Or today we got guns, badges, okay? And those sticks there, what do you call those sticks they hit you over the head with? They got the pepper spray too. Nothing good. For he is God's servant to execute his wrath, punishment, vengeance on the wrongdoer. Comment on verses 3 and 4. Before I got saved, okay? Before I got saved, not after I got saved. Before I got saved, I was always looking over my shoulder to see if there's a police car or a police officer. Why? Because I was a lawbreaker back then. I had a record. I had a criminal record. I've been to jail. Okay, I had a record. I broke the law. I broke into schools. I stole. I was a thief. Okay? So I was always, and I had drugs on me all the time. So I was always looking around to see if there was cops. Okay? That's before I got saved. Okay? All right. Romans 16:19. For while your loyalty and obedience is known to all, so that I rejoice over you, I would have you well versed and wise as to what is good, and innocent and guileless as to what is evil. I love that verse. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be so deceived and misled. Evil companionship. Oh my goodness, I wish the church would get this. Evil companionship, communion, associations corrupt and deprave good manners and moral character. Comment. This is what the Apostle Paul was really talking about in Romans 12:2, as well as many other places in the epistles, regarding the fallen race of the first Adam in contrast with the race of the second Adam. The race of the second Adam, those who are born of God, have no business conforming to the world of the first Adam. No business. We're in the world, but we're not of it. Also, Mark 4:19, a desire for all these other things creep in and choke the word. Got to be careful. So that means we can go from good to bad. No, we should be going from bad to good and not good to bad. You know? 2 Corinthians 5:10, this is probably one of my best verses in the whole Bible. For we must all appear and be revealed as we are before the judgment seat of Christ. This is for the believer. So that each one may receive his pay according to what he has done in the body, whether good or evil, considering what his purpose and motive have been, what he has achieved, been busy with, given himself and his attention to accomplishing. I got this printed out on a big page. I've had this on my wall for years after I got saved. Okay? Comment. Not one person who's genuinely saved is getting away with anything while on this planet Earth, especially in light of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13 and to verse 15. The judgment seat of Christ. In 1 Corinthians 3, it says that you can have your works burned up, losing your rewards, but you'll be saved as if by fire. Not me. I'm not interested in that. No way. Ephesians 4:29. Let no foul or polluting language, nor evil word, nor unwholesome or worthless talk ever come out of your mouth, but only such speech as is good, see, evil good, beneficial to the spiritual progress of others, as is fitting to the need and the occasion, that it may be a blessing and give grace, God's favor to those who hear it. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 15. See that none of you repays another with evil for evil, but always aim to show kindness and seek to do good to one another and to everybody. Comment. 2 wrongs don't make a right. No. 2 wrongs don't make a right. And there's no such thing as a tit for tat in the kingdom of God. That's a worldly thing. I'm going to get him back. That's not in the Bible for the believer. No. Bible says vengeance is mine. Leave up the vengeance with the Lord. That's a tough one. You got to walk by faith with that one. 2 Timothy 3, verse 3. They will be without natural human affection, callous and inhuman, relentless, admitting of no truce or appeasement. They will be slanderers, false accusers, troublemakers, intemperate and loose in morals and conduct, uncontrolled and fierce, haters of good. Comment. I'm seeing this more and more. I'll tell you, the more I watch what's on newsfeed on Facebook, the more I watch a little bit of news, the more I'm seeing people that actually hate good. Jesus himself experienced this more than anyone else in the history of mankind. Jesus was accused of all kinds of things, called all kinds of names, for what? Simply because he was going around doing good. Yeah. Jesus never did one thing wrong. Never. And he was called all kinds of things, and he was accused of all kinds of things that were wrong. We're almost done here. Hebrews 5:14. But solid food is for full-grown men, for those whose senses and mental faculties are trained by practice to discriminate and distinguish between what is morally good, noble, and what is evil and contrary either to divine or the human law. Comment is this. This is not only greatly needed in the church, but we need this among leaders of nations, lawyers, judges, lawmakers, law enforcement agencies. We've got corruption in those places. There should be no corruption. There should be no corruption. No, there shouldn't be. Imagine that, a corrupt judge, corrupt lawyers. Imagine that. The world is full of that garbage. Yeah. Well, it's all going to be judged. 1 Peter 2:12. Conduct yourselves properly, honorably, righteously among the Gentiles, so that although they may slander you as evildoers, I've had that before at work, yet they may be witnessing your good deeds, come to glorify God in the day of inspection, when God shall look upon you as wanderers, as a pastor or a shepherd looks over his flock. Comment. This is basically what I was referring to back in 2 Timothy 3:3 regarding Jesus doing good. Jesus only did good. Everything he said was great. Everything he did was great. The intents of his heart was good, and people were going around criticizing him all the time, to the point they wanted to kill him. Hey, how many times did they try to kill him? 1 Peter 3:10. For let him who wants to enjoy life and see good days, good whether apparent or not, keep his tongue free from evil and his lips from guile, treachery, and deceit. It's up to you. Want to see good days? Keep your mouth from evil as a believer. Verse 11. Let him turn away from wickedness, evil, and shun it. Let him do right, good. Let him search for peace, harmony, undisturbedness from fears, agitating passions, and moral conflict, and seek it eagerly. Do not merely desire peaceful relations with God, but with your fellow men and with yourself, but pursue and go after it. Very important. Comment on this is that verse 10 and 11, there's no place, no room for any degree of evil for those of us who are born of incorruptible seed. There is no evil in the incorruptible seed. But the problem is, though, I wrote here, but according to Ephesians 4:22-24, James 1:21, we have to sow the word so that we can put off the old man, put on the new man, and save our soul. The implanted word which is able to sozo, deliver your soul. From what? Superfluity of naughtiness and wickedness. King James. Verse 16. And see to it that your conscience is entirely clear, unimpaired, so that when you are falsely accused as evildoers, those who threaten you abusively and revile your right behavior in Christ may come to be ashamed of slandering your good lives. Comment once again, going back to what I said in 2 Timothy 3:3 and 1 Peter 2:12. Almost done here. Last page, believe it or not. That's a big teaching. Anyhow, 1 John 3:12. And not be like Cain, who took his nature and got his motivation from the evil one and slew his brother. And why did he slay him? Because his deeds, his activities, his works were wicked, evil, malicious, and his brothers were righteous and good, virtuous. Comment back to what I said in my introduction. That's part of the first. We've got the fall of Lucifer. Then we've got, that's evil and good. And then we've got the serpent and mankind. And the next step is when we see between Cain and Abel, for evil and good. And last verse here, 3 John verse 11. Beloved, do not imitate evil. Do not imitate evil. Makes sense? But imitate good. He who does good is of God. He who does evil has not seen or discerned or experienced God, has not enjoyed no vision of him, and does not know him at all. So my comment is this, back to what I said, in the word good, we've got the word God, and in the word devil, we've got the word evil. So I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for my viewers of live streaming and on Facebook, and we will see you next time around. God bless you. Shalom.